The NFL draft begins on Thursday, April 25th, and I'm Eric Boy from the GoldSheet, and let's talk some best bets for the 2024 first round of the NFL draft over on the GoldSheet at WagerTalk.com, wt.buzz/TGS. The GoldSheet released their first and only mock draft for the first round of the NFL draft. Not going to go through the entire mock draft with you guys, but we'll definitely be giving out some best bets to make for draft night. So make sure you're able to shop around. A lot of these numbers in the draft move on very, very keen information. Now, the NFL has done a great job or attempting to do a great job of stopping people from getting information out because of how prevalent now sports betting is. And of course, you've seen a lot of players in the NFL as well as other leagues now being suspended for giving information for gambling purposes. So information in the draft has been a lot more tight-lipped over the past 2 years than it has been in the past. With that being said, though, there are still some ways to get information as well as also use some things like old GM history, as well as team needs, as well as looking at contracts and not just 2024, but 2025 and beyond to be able to make some actionable draft bets. So let's get right into some of the best draft bets to make for the 2024 NFL draft. Now, of course, Caleb Williams is slotted to go to the Chicago Bears, and the real question now becomes at the number 2 overall pick with the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels has recently been getting a lot of steam to go number 2 overall. At times, it was basically the PK between Drake May and Jaden Daniels, but now Jaden Daniels is a relatively heavy favorite to go number 2 overall. In a market like this, where when you get good information and these numbers do move so rapidly, if Jaden Daniels was a lock to be the number 2 overall pick, we'd see this number probably closer to minus 2, 3, 4, even 5,000. However, it's not quite there yet, and based on everything that we have gathered, we still believe that Drake May would be the pick for the Washington Commanders. Now, a lot of insiders, Daniel Jeremiah, Peter Schrager, so on and so forth, people who do still have some pretty deep-rooted connections to the NFL, are still mocking Jaden Daniels to the Commanders. Even some of them who at first were very much so on the Drake May train are saying now that they expect Jaden Daniels to be the pick. However, at this point, and again, the fact that this line is not really fully ballooned, we like Drake May to be the number 2 overall pick, and that number can vary anywhere from plus 250 to plus 300, so make sure you shop around and get the best number. But one of our best looks is for Drake May, quarterback from North Carolina, to go to the Washington Commanders at the number 2 overall pick. Now, another bet that we're looking at goes down the board a little bit, so if you want a little look at our draft, you can go again to wt.buzz/TGS. That's be where you could find the full PDF of the mock draft as well as some other best bets. But another thing that we're looking at is number 7, the Tennessee Titans are selecting, and they're a trade down candidate a little bit, but after their GM went out and acquired a ton of talent this offseason, this team still has a major need on the offensive line, and the projected best offensive lineman to still be there at number 7 after we have a pretty big run on quarterbacks and skilled players would be Joe Alt, offensive tackle from Notre Dame. The Titans have a very big need at offensive line, and to Joe Alt to be the number 7 overall pick is minus 135. So that's something that we would look at. Again, shop around, could find better. Different places have different prices, but we like Joe Alt to be the number 7 overall pick. Moving not too far down the board, the Atlanta Falcons draft 8 and Chicago Bears draft number 9. Dallas Turner is a very interesting prospect, the 2023 SEC Defensive Player of the Year. Right now, his market is split. So he has a draft position market of 9.5. The over is juiced to about minus 150, and the under is juiced for anywhere from plus 125 to plus 115. And we believe that Dallas Turner will be drafted under the 9.5 overall pick. Reasons being is that Atlanta has a clear need at edge rusher, and Dallas Turner, as an edge rusher, also dropped back a lot in coverage. Now, Raheem Morris is now the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, and he values players who drop back into coverage. Also, GM Terry Fontenot has a history of drafting young athletic players. Dallas Turner ran a very fast 40 time, and he is a young 21-year-old who is an athletic freak. So Dallas Turner going to Atlanta would be a very interesting pick. But besides the fact that Atlanta certainly could use him, but maybe he doesn't go to Atlanta, you also have the cushion of the Chicago Bears. Now, the Bears are, of course, getting Caleb Williams with number 1 overall pick. They've done a great job overhauling their roster and do have a stout defense, but they certainly could still use another edge rusher opposite of Montez Sweat. So we like Dallas Turner again at under 9.5, not just because it really does make sense for him to go to Atlanta, but there also is a lot of value and there is a need for him to go to Chicago for the Bears to select an edge rusher. So the fact that you do have two teams right there drafting in that position to go there is certainly a great look. Our next best bet before we get a little bit deeper down the board also still stays in this vicinity. So the New York Jets have the number 10 overall pick, and we expect Brock Bowers to be the selection, the tight end from Georgia. You could find Jets first selection tight end at plus 150, or Brock Bowers to be a top 10 pick at plus 120. Now, the Jets certainly do have more pressing needs than just selecting Bowers. However, the Jets have pushed all of their chips in the middle of the table with Aaron Rodgers coming off the Achilles injury, and their window is, if it's not this year, if it's not next year even, it looks like the Jets are going to have to completely restructure. GM Joe Douglas, as well as head coach Robert Saleh, are fighting for their jobs. So they are definitely going to look to try to add to the pass catching core for the New York Jets. So there you have it. Those are some best bets that are still available for the 2024 NFL Draft first round. If you want the full mock draft, you can head on over to wt.buzz/TGS. Download the PDF. There are some other draft bets on there, as well as a full mock draft of the first round. I'm Pauly from the GoldSheet. Best of luck with your 2024 NFL Draft bets.